Hello, welcome to Longman Tarot. It's Richie here, and I have popped on for a very quick, unscheduled live to talk about the protest that happened today at Stonehenge. Anyone that's not aware of what has happened this afternoon, two Just Stop Oil protesters got into the main part of Stonehenge and threw orange paint over the stones. They were arrested. The two people were arrested, caught and arrested. And so I just thought I would share some thoughts about it, actually, because what was interesting, as soon as it happened, a lot of people messaged me to talk about, to let me know it happened, which is very kind, because people know that I have a particular affiliation to Stonehenge and absolutely love the site. And so people were very generous in letting me know this had happened. And I've sat with it and I thought about it for a little while. And I just thought I would share some thoughts about people that may not have been aware of what's happening and ways forward on it. Hello, people joining us. Hi, Sandra. And it's actually Sandra I was chatting to just now. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go live and just talk about it a bit. Hi, Mavuta. Good to see you here. And it's interesting, people's thoughts that people are horrified. Sandra says, I'm absolutely horrified. And Maruta says, oh, how dare they? Yeah, it's a really interesting set of quandaries. So let's just put it into context before we go perhaps too personal into it. There's a general election coming up in the UK in the next few weeks. Hi, everyone coming in. Hi, Amanda. Hi, Lottie. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining us. Please feel free to join in the conversation if you want to. Yeah, so there's a general election coming up in the next few weeks here. So obviously, climate issues are something to be forefronted, something that to be made people aware of. I am absolutely all for peaceful protests. Let me put that out there. I have been on some my own in the past. And obviously, environmental issues, things like carbon emissions should be forefronted, particularly at this time. But of course, it's the way that it's been gone around and the way that it's been done, which is interesting and shocking. Why people would choose a World Heritage Site like Stonehenge to attack, I don't know. Obviously, you're instantly going to get world media coverage. That's what people are looking for. Hello, those people joining us. It'd be really interested to know your opinions there. I'm going to star a few comments and come back to them. Yeah, so that's basically what's happened. Two people have attacked 3 of the stones from the main circle of Stonehenge this afternoon. Now, before we go any further, there's lots of things being talked about. Let's just clear up a few things. Apparently the paint that was used, although it looks like it's spray paint, isn't. It's corn flour mixed with orange powder paint. And because it hasn't been raining, because the stones are pretty dry at the moment, it's believed that the paint will come off quite readily. However, of course, you need experts to go and check the stones, see what damage may have been done. There may have been damage done actually whilst the protest is going on. There's lots of videos of, obviously lots of people there taking videos of it. So you can just look it up online. I'm not going to show any of the videos now. So I suppose in one way the protesters knew what they were doing, and so therefore they decided to use paint which wasn't particularly harmful, and I'm using those words very carefully, paint that would, you know, be easier to get off than perhaps some other kinds of paint. Is that acceptable? No, absolutely not. Has it damaged the stones in many other ways? Yes. The stones, as you know, have been there for thousands of years. There's ecosystems built up around them. There's lichen, there's grasses, there's insects, there's animals that call those stones their home. So yes, those have probably been affected. Hopefully the stones themselves will be pretty able to be claimed. But as I said, you're not just going to take a brush to it. You need experts to go in and check it all out. Now, one other good thing is that English Heritage, who own the site, have said that the stone circle will still be open for the summer solstice, which is happening in a couple of days' time. So it's really nice that they haven't just sort of closed the site down and go, that's it. So, it looks like a big protest. It looks like a big thing, but perhaps when we start to unpack it, what damage has been done, and what kind of things has been said there. So I'm just going to pop in and see what people are saying before we go on any further. Like I said, it's just a quick pop on live here. Sandra says, I have no problem peaceful protests, but to deface a sacred site, that is what I think it's all about. No one here would argue against protest and environmental protection, but how does defacing an ancient monument help them? Yeah, totally agree. And Sandra is, as I was, very upset by the sight of it being done. And I think, if I'm absolutely honest, there seems to be a couple of things happening now in the UK. A few months ago, or last year, I think it was, the tree at Sycamore Gap on Hadrian's Wall, which is a very iconic tree, was cut down. Now, that wasn't done by as a protest. It was just done as a random act of vandalism. But it is quite disturbing that people aren't able to honour what we have in this country or have in the world, that they feel that they need to harm stuff for whatever sake, for whatever reason. And I find that very disturbing. And it seems to be something that it's not being acceptable, but something that people feel that they either need to do or need to do it as a statement. And I find that quite difficult to deal with. Sandra's saying, what about the energy of the stones? I know not everyone believes it, but I do. Having been there. There is certainly an element. There. I personally think that the energy of the stones have changed over the years. They certainly, obviously, the circle isn't complete, but it has been a special site of respect, of spiritual belief, of a focus for thousands of years, and there is absolutely an energy there with that. What effect doing this would have on it, I don't know. But I also do have absolute faith, having known some of the people that go to the solstice and celebrate, and having been there myself, very fortunately, a couple of times. I know that the people that will be going to the solstice celebrations this week will absolutely do their best to restore any of the bad energy or any of the lacking energy that this incident may have caused. And I think that anything that may have happened, I'm really hoping is a very temporary glitch that will be healed. And I truly believe that. I'm going to try and answer some of your questions. Were there any arrests made? There were 2 arrests made. So there were 2 people that did it. There is, if you've ever been to Stonehenge, there's obviously the main part, which is off. People can't go. It's roped off. It's just a little rope there. They do have security there. Obviously, it was a very busy day, particularly coming up to the summer solstice. And 2 people just stepped over the ropes and ran towards the stones and started throwing this orange paint around. And there's big clouds of it. And actually, when you look at it, it looks like there's a lot in the air. And as I say, not too much of it, I believe, made it to the stones, and it could have been a lot worse. But 2 people were arrested. And what's interesting is one of the protesters just sat down and took the arrest. The other person, I believe, did run off, but then was later caught then. So, hello, Nancy. Just joining. What did they do? They threw orange paint over Stonehenge, some of the stones there. High hypnicity, it feeds into my depression and I don't like it at all. Absolutely. Seeing something like that is really, it is depressing. Yeah. What are they trying to convey? And I don't get it. And I think that's the point. Now, the point that I'm going to make, and this is the thing that for me makes no sense, is the people who are behind such protests, campaigns like Just Stop Oil, like bringing down the carbon footprint, like trying to be more eco, they are the people that have a lot of pagans and a lot of people who spiritual belief in their camp. And I personally think that doing this is going to really backfire on the people that may have supported them in the past. And I'm really interested to see what effect this now has, because I know some people who have backed Just Stop Oil, and I know people who have, as I said, have gone to Stonehenge and had that whole experience, and they choose a spiritual lifestyle that fits in with that. And I'm really interested to know what happens if Just Stop Oil have attacked their, if like, their icon place. What effect is that going to have on the thoughts going forward and people backing them and supporting them? That's, I think, going to be the really interesting thing to watch. Hi, Hershey. Good to see you. Sending positive vibes to all the gems near and far. Thank you, my lovely. Thank you there. It is really, really sad. I'm just catching up with a few more people. Yeah, thank you, Marita. Yeah, for those people that's coming in. Folks just want to tear it all down. So yeah, I mean, absolutely. The insignificance of the OH paint is just the colour that they tend to use to just bring notice to their protest. Basically, they're always very bright colours there. And the other thing is, of course, the paint, as I said earlier, is water paint, water powder paint, and corn flour. But there still is some form of damage going on to the environment just by having that in the space itself, isn't it? So, yeah. So, like people who throw paint at art. Yeah, why attack individual artist creations when it's corporate? Yeah, absolutely. Now, that's interesting, Nancy, isn't it? And something that has also cropped up this week or so that's been rumbling away, and I don't know if people are aware of it, in Chalice Gardens in Glastonbury, which are the beautiful gardens where the red chalice fountains and pools and everything are. The well is there. There was a statue that's been removed from there, and it's a statue of a mother and child. And for various reasons, it's been removed, and people did put up a bit of a protest on social media about it. And I believe the statue is now being returned, but that has been happening at the same time as well. And it's very interesting that this again is something that seems to be forefronted at the moment there. Yeah, Maruta says it's very un-eco-friendly. Yeah, and yeah, and Sarb says, yeah, I agree. People they support will likely not now. Yeah, I can really see that. Having known the people, having, as I said, gone to Solstice a few times before, knowing the kind of lovely people that meet up there, they're probably people who would do protests, who probably would choose a lifestyle that was more eco, would try and do their very best to lower their carbon footprints. And that's what I find difficult to get my head around with the whole protest and why that was chosen. Yes, it was chosen because it's a site that's going to be important to a lot of people in the next 2 days. It's a site, were they hoping that they would close Stonehenge so that people wouldn't be able to visit? Well, if that's the case, it hasn't worked. But at the same time, their choice of not actually using paint that was permanently, and again, we don't know the state of play, so I'm not going to put words into people's mouth, but they chose paint that could be cleaned up, hopefully quite easily without too much damage going on there. Hi, Amrita. Hello to other people that are joining. I'm really sorry I'm not putting everyone's comments up there. They're trying to get attention to their cause because nobody is listening but using the wrong method. Absolutely, Nancy. I think we all probably would agree with that one. It's a very important cause. It's something that, again, forefronted by being at the time of an election where, if I'm absolutely honest, there aren't that many of the main parties who look like they are going to be winning, or at least taking part or be in opposition, have said very much about this. So I can see why a protest would be happening now. Of course, it's the way it's been done that seems to be so wrong. And as Amanda says, stupid and sloppy about it there. So that's all I'm kind of going to really talk about it, because I wasn't here to talk for hours and hours and hours about it. But I just wanted to fill in people that may not be aware of this happening or of what's been happening since from that there. Hi Beth, good to see you here. Don't worry, it's just a quick live pop in there. Yeah, thank you for all your lovely comments. I mean, what's interesting is I knew that if I did a live on here, I kind of feel that people would possibly have the same kind of outlook as I have. But I think what we can take away from this is that this whole thing probably isn't over. There will be other kinds of protests and other places targeted. Will that step up security on some of these places? Quite possibly. And you know, will it cost more perhaps to have these things fenced off? Might there be more care taken with it? I don't know. Will that help the protests in the end? Again, that's questionable. Has it highlighted them? Yes, it certainly highlighted and got them into the media, but probably for the wrong reasons, as most of these protests actually have. Yeah. Oh, Beth, I think you'll probably catch up, but yeah, there's been a protest by Just Stop Oil this afternoon who have painted or got paint onto 3 of the big stones at Stonehenge. So I'm just doing a bit of a catch up on that one there. But Sandra's quite right. It's made me feel very sad. It does have that. If it's a space, and again, like most of us in here, like-minded kind of people with our own spiritual pathway and belief and care of the environment and care of the old ways, it does make you feel just quite bad, doesn't it? Quite sad. Hi, Gerald. It's an interesting mix, a protest with paint that might not cause as much damage than that could have happened. Absolutely. It feels like energy contrast are, I can't say that, growing globally. Absolutely. I think you've nailed it right there. Yeah. You're very welcome. I just wanted to pop on and just let people know that that's the case. You probably might have been picking this up on social media because obviously it's a World Heritage Site. They're very, very cautious and looking after the site, English heritage. But as I say, you know, I'd like to say there's no damage done. There will be damage, like I said earlier, to just the environment that's gone on around there. But it has drawn attention to the protests, and we have to decide from these actions how we feel about it. And I don't think for me it's necessarily a black and white situation. I'm going to have to sit and think about this, possibly once we know a little bit more about how the stones were and how much more treatment they will need. But the one thing I do take from this, and I hope other people do, is that we should never take anything like Stonehenge or anywhere that is spiritual and special to us for granted, because there will always be a situation where something may get broken, destroyed, knocked down, bombed, hurt, however you want to describe it. And so therefore we have to take what's important to us, the experiences we've had, the memories we may have had in these places, and hold dear to them and do our very best to make sure that, you know, we do our very best, our own part to support these places being safe, secure for other generations. So that's what I'm going to end with there, but I am going to just catch up with people there. Hi to everyone that's just popping in. Thank you for your lovely messages. That makes me very sad, says Beth. I've been to Stonehenge and it is a magical and beautiful place. Hello to everyone saying, you're very welcome. It was our conversation, Sandra. I suddenly thought I just want to go on and just quickly talk about this one. Yeah. Oh, Vanessa, your drive lurking. Take care driving there. Hypnicity said polarization is so unhealthy. I'm just very sad that people have to damage things that are special to other people to draw attention to them, and that can be for various different reasons that's going on. But yeah, let's just, you know, and that includes ourselves and the people that we have in community or people that we know. You know, it's very easy on the day to day. We see so many people on YouTube or talking about stuff constantly on YouTube perhaps we just need to take a moment to reflect on how important it is to us, and preserve those memories and things. So anyway, I'm not here to preach to you all about that one there. That's what I was here to do, just to walk you through it. I'm not going to talk much more about it because, it's in safe hands. English Heritage will be looking into it, and I'm absolutely, pretty confident that no permanent damage will have been done to the stones. It should be cleaned up pretty quickly there. But it has made us sit up and realise how important these things are for us. But like I said, I'm interested to see as well how their campaigns and protests, what effect this has on there. But the thing I suppose that makes me glad most of all is that this hasn't affected the people who will be celebrating at Stonehenge. It looks like it's going to be a wonderful sunny day, Thursday and Friday in the UK. And I would just make sure, if you can, to try and watch the live stream that English Heritage will be putting up on YouTube or on their website. They always show the solstice sun film from there. You'll get to see all the wonderful people. And I think that'd be a nice way of celebrating the Stone Circle if you aren't able to attend. And you can, of course, watch that at any time you want. It's on playback there. So there we go. Oh, here's the husband. Hello, Peter. Sadly, there are probably harm potential Green Party votes too. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. Well, thank you, Peter. He's in the kitchen cooking at the moment. So thank you for putting that there. Beth says, it really is. It does help greedy people gain power, though, doesn't it? Absolutely. Thank you for watching. I'm going to let you get on with the rest of your day. Thank you for allowing me to do this one. I'll probably take this down in a few weeks' time once things have sorted and gone back to how they were. But thank you for allowing me to share this time for you. And of course, I'm holding everyone dear here. And thank you for allowing me to talk to you about this one. Really appreciate it. So have a good rest of your day. And I'm going to say goodbye. And do have a fantastic solstice if you are celebrating it. And let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it because, we're here to celebrate. So take care, everyone. Good night.